Hey folks, welcome back and welcome to Resonant Rise episode, gosh, are we already at episode 18? I guess I shouldn't say already. Compared to all my friends, I release very rarely, only twice a week, and well, sometimes I don't even do a Resonant Rise episode. Well, I am still surrounded on all sides by witches forever. There's basically an infinite number of witches. I wished for infinite wishes, but it accidentally got infinite witches, which is hard to even say. Indeed. So last episode, let's just brush right by that joke. Last episode, I set up this farm processor. It's been humming along, fantastic, stable, so good, right? But what I'd like to do now, before I start making all the stuff I need for my factories, I'd like to automate one more thing, because it does kind of bug me. Well, actually, two things. One, I need more building materials. I just need a ton of things. You know, like bricks and white stone and glass and all these things that I'm not making. Second of all, I need more steel. And I have been paying for steel with this incredibly expensive recipe. Let me show you. Where's the steel dust? Here we are. Right? You look at this recipe, and this is super expensive. Super expensive. And it doesn't have to be that way. If we just look around, we can see that there's another type of steel dust here. Let's see, where is it? Sure, it's around. Steel dust. And we can see other ways to make this. An enrichment chain. See, no, that's the metallurgic infuser. Huh. Well, what's going on here, right? There's a thing here, and takes charcoal, and which we've just made in our last episode. Huh. And it takes some enriched iron, which we know how to make. There's a couple different ways we can make it. We can also use copper dust, tin dust. We'll probably just use redstone though. It's pretty plentiful, right? So we need one of these fancy metallurgic infusers, which actually does a ton of stuff, including making bronze. It makes us lets us make obsidian stuff, which is really cool. It lets us, it basically lets us do all sorts of stuff. And so we would like to have, that. So let's do it. Let's do it. First off, I'm going to need to go ahead and make said metallurgic infuser. All right, and let's go ahead and take a look at this. Oh, let me click that off. Everybody yells at me when I leave that on. Okay, do we have what we need for this on hand? We don't quite. So we need to make some more of these control circuits. I think we can make let's just make 4, 5, have 5 on hand, right? And then I think we need, that it? No, we need furnaces, which I just don't keep around. Why would I, right? Why would you, Dave? So let's see here. 1, 2, toss that in there. Well, we got 3. I always do that by accident. And ta-da, metallurgic infuser. And let's keep some wire handy. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the other room. I'm thinking I'm going to keep it right around here. And so I actually took the liberty, if you guys don't mind, of hopping in between episodes and just digging a little bit down for wire. And let's see if I can make a connection. Aha, there we are. You can see we have a little bit of wire here. And we're going to actually run off our water power because we just aren't using it that much, aren't we? We should reuse it. We got a ton of it. It's powering our AE system, and our AE system is getting ever bigger all the time. In fact, I'm kind of curious. How many units of, whoa, wires. How many units of wire or of power are we actually using with this system? 45 units tick, which I imagine is quite a bit. And yet, we are holding steady on our outputs and doing well. We're basically holding together, making sure we don't have any deficits. We've been using all these sorts of systems, and we're holding good. So we can afford to have a little bit more, and we could always build a few more of these to expand it outwards. Or we could go for other things. I could make some solar panels to help supplement it. I could make a coal generator and burn some of all this charcoal we've been making. But okay, let's stay on task. So I have this metallurgic infuser. I think I'd like to put it, I think I'd like to put it right against, I don't want to put it against the wall. Well, we got all this, let's just put it right over here. Just keep it out of the way. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. All right, so the first thing this is going to need is power. Let me just quickly run this over to, let me run the cable over and we'll bury it and make sure we have a nice high power cable. All right, I wired the power, and as I was doing, I noticed that things are real tricky in here, and I took a look. Check this out. These things don't have full hydrogen, and if I check some of these, they're barely holding power buffers. You can see this one keeps kicking off. So this one's doing better, and this one's doing better. But we're reaching the point where we're going to need to expand this system, probably sooner than I realized. It's okay, though. It's not a big deal. I think we'll probably just expand this system a few more hydros. Another 4 should keep us in good shape for a while. We don't need to worry about it just yet, but the AE system is just taking so much power now that we will have to start being pretty concerned. I'm lucky that I took the farm off of all that because it'd be a real tricky thing otherwise. Okay, let's go grab some enriched metal. I finished the wiring, although you can't see it because I closed it back up. We need some enriched iron, so we'll need to make some. This is obviously a recipe that we'll have to teach AE. Let's see, enriched iron. Let's go ahead and make just 1, or we'll make 2. Right? And we can go like this. And toss that in there. And now we need a piece of charcoal, I think. Now I think the way this will work will be straightforward. Let's see. Is that really 2? 16. Well, that's naughty. How did that happen? Let's fix that. You got to kind of maintain these things. Got to watch them. Be good stewards of the deep storage units. Got to make sure that they don't, you know. All right. Well, we're already up to. Wow, that's just crazy. Got plenty of charcoal in there. We'll be having more and more as time goes on. So I think if we put this in here, it sort of fills up a buffer there, and then here we go. Take some power, take some time, and we get steel. A steel dust. And of course, a steel dust. Perfect. Okay, so what we need to do is then cook that steel dust. We don't really want to make steel dust. No one wants steel dust. Is there any uses for steel dust besides being cooked? Let's take a look. NEI, tell me, are there any uses? NEI is like my Siri. Yeah, I don't think that there are any uses for steel dust besides cooking. Well, I mean the induction furnace, and yeah. So there's really nothing there, except maybe Tinker's Construct. So that's fine. Why don't we then immediately output from that and over? Well, I'll tell you what. So what we're gonna do next. I guess we chuck those out here, huh? Is we're going to run a line from here, right? Apply logistics line, and run that over here. And we'll export, we'll just have this thing take as much charcoal as it possibly can, right? Now, I actually need to make craft some more of this line because we're getting pretty close to where it's, we won't have any more. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I don't think it's going to make it. Guys, I don't think it's going to make it. Oh, no. All right. I need some more cable. And while I'm over there, I can actually grab a couple other things. I was cleaning out my system, and so I built this little... Kind of made these as a joke, but... You can see here... Here, here, and here. Those are just things I was using. It's an export bus, a level emitter, other accoutrement that I was just using to clean out my system. And I think this does need to be there for my crafting monitor to be connected. Right? And, let's see here. We're really close to being where we need to be. How about I'll be right back in a sec after I've crafted just a few more pieces of cable I need. I had to run out and get a little bit of sand, but okay, I think we're sorted on cable for a little bit. Glass, man, I gotta make a glass factory while I'm at this too. Okay, so here's this export bus. Precision, we probably don't need it, but you know, it's fine. And let's get the Omni wrench, twist it around. So I think I know which side everything goes on, but I may have to move this build around because I've never actually automated this before. True to my promise, I have not deliberately not made this build in a test in hopes that I can sort of do it in a way where everyone will feel like I'm being super auth and authentic and indie and not, you know, spacing anything out, not, you know, patronizing anybody, I guess. I am doing this and I know about as much as anybody else who's watching right now as I do this, how it's going to turn out. So let's see, we want to export always. So yeah, that should work right there. That fills it up and that'll pull out a whole stack and that'll just keep, we're going to have all the charcoal we need and then some. So I'm really not concerned about that aspect of it. So then what we'd like to do, I think you pull out of the right-hand side to continue the pattern. So what we need to do then once we get the steel dust is cook it. Cook it, cook it, cook it. And I think that that will, whoa, wait, what? It should go in here, right? It's going in the side. I wonder what side I have to, all right, stop. So here's an example of where, I don't know, you tell me what's going wrong. Oh yeah, that's right, this doesn't have a, why am I carrying that? I'm wearing my Darkcraft armor, so I don't have any battery power. Okay, let's see what happens if I go right here. Maybe this will be the right place for it. We just need to get charcoal into the system. And rotate around. And, whoa, let's go ahead and pull that out. Toss in the rule of that. Now I'm hoping that it, well, it looks like it doesn't go anywhere with this. Where could it go? Let's just try every side, huh? Thrill as Dave struggles to understand. Okay. Because who knows what side this thing could be on. Honestly, I would say that that's like the most counterintuitive part of Mechanism is what side things connect on. It has been a constant frustration for me that like the side that you would expect is almost never the side that you actually are using. Okay, so let's go ahead and ask this to insert. And is that going to go in anywhere? I should have some... I should probably label these at some point because I do want to keep grabbing charcoal. I do have some. So what's the deal? Where? So obviously that's the left side is where it expects input to go. Folks, I'll be right back. I'm just going to test this off camera, not waste time in the episode. Well, it turns out there's a bug with the machine that we're testing right now. It just doesn't matter what we do. We cannot insert into the purple slot. I will report it, and we will carry on. So for now, we're going to skip the export bus. And, well, hello, stuff going through. Da-da-da-da. Ha ha ha. It's so nice. I'm still really happy with this build, just because it's so weird looking. All right. So weird looking indeed. Okay, so let me just toss this. We don't need a level emitter or the precision export bus right now. But what we do need, oh, and I'll show you something in a minute. Sneak peek. But first what we do need is an ME interface. And I happen to have one available. So what we want to do is shuttle the enriched iron into the system. All right. So the easiest way to do that is use, well, is to use ME on the right side, of course. We don't want to get on the wrong side. And from our experiments, we saw that it was using the correct side from over here. So we're going to set up, we're going to teach Applied Energistics to make steel for me. And then we will teach it to make steel blocks, so I can teach it all about mechanism machines. It needs to, the Applied Energistics needs to learn how to make, the pattern that we want in this case. I haven't yet taught it. You can see I've taught it a few more things since we last talked. It knows how to actually make ME interfaces from start to finish. And even I have over here, just kind of hidden, an ME interface on this, which I have taught how to make the basic processors which you cook in a furnace. So we're already moving along quite fast with this. So let's see what we need to do. What we want to teach it is we want to teach it how to make enriched iron. Turn that off. Whoa, no. And yes, I was in cheat mode. I was doing op stuff. Let's make sure that we're not. Sorry about that. So I think probably the most prolific one, the safest one, is this, because otherwise we're going to be pulverizing tin dust, and let's just teach it this for now. You see what I just did there? I hit shift click. We are using NEI add-ons now, which is a great mod so long as it is stable. And so if that works for you, you should totally use it, because it greatly decreases the hassle of training Applied Energistics to do something. So what we need is a pattern cell. I think I have two. Yes, I have two on hand. So let's pull in these, and let's hop over here, and let's teach it how to do this. Okay, and then we will encode. There we go. So now if I just toss this in here, we've taught the system how to make enriched iron. And if I were to go over here and ask, you know, for a little bit of enriched iron, it'll make it for me. Let's just make, you know, 2, because we just need some of the patterns. And let's toss some rock in there, toss some paneling in there. Don't need it. So what that will make for us then, what do we need next? What we need, dear friends, I think, is to actually cook some of this. So let's see here. We need an example of the output. So let's toss this in. Let's see it go. I think this is already the dust, but let's just make sure. Okay, steel dust. So then we'd like to cook this too. Do we have any spare furnaces lying around? You know we do. That's a crusher. We're not really using this factory. We should, and it's already a smelting factory. It's kind of overkill though. Let's just actually make an energized furnace. Energized. There we go. Energized smelter. We need a steel casing for this, which I think this is the real reason, by the way, I'm automating all this, is this steel casing is just a pain. So we got one of those. And then we need, I think that's everything we need. Yay. All right, there we go. So I also made translocators, which I think, well, I'm trying to remember if we used it. Way definitely used some stuff with translocators. I'm not sure I have. These are Chicken Bones' awesome translocators. They're back in the pack, and so they magically appeared in all my stuff. I was about to make some, then I realized, hey, I have some because they've been sitting around with unused item IDs in my system, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and move this over here. Let's just go ahead and do that. You know, we're wasting a wire, so let's fix that. And we've got these translocators. These are item translocators, which I think that the way mechanism works, actually, I don't want this here. Let's jump down there. Whoop, whoop. This wire is so finicky to walk on. I think we want it here. And we can put the energized smelter here. And it should have power now. And I think that if I do something like this, like here, which looks a little weird, but you know, whatevs. And then there. Then that should just work. Okay, so then if I toss this in here, look at it go, look at it go. It's glowing, it's doing its thing. Let's see here. Did it make the steel dust? Now the trick is to find the side that it's allowed to output from. Oh boy. This is no fun at all. All right, so this is like my least favorite part of mechanism, and one part that I hope gets cleaned up soon, is that there just isn't a lot of rhyme or reason to, and this is why I actually pulled these out. There isn't a lot of rhyme or reason to where you pull things to get the results out, right? Like, where do you pull these things to get the results? Why is it not this one? Why is it not that one? Is it the top one? I don't know, and it's undocumented too. So what we need to do is figure out which side to use. So this is why I actually have an axe on me, because I was chopping away. And whoa, come back, friends. My Darkcraft armor, my helmet broke, so suddenly my mobility is a little bit messed up. Okay, let's try Let's try putting it right here, because we don't really care about the inventory connections right now. Click. Click. Oh, is there really no output from this device right now? That would be terrible. I'd be sitting here, I'd be talking to you guys, I'd be doing this thing. I don't even know. I don't even know what I would do. Like, maybe this episode, I'm talking to myself because this episode will never be released because it will never be automatable. I don't know. Perhaps the front, which is, of course, the least attractive place, right? If you could pick one place where you'd rather not have this model obstructed by a weird sci-fi object, well, there it is. Let's toss those in there. And, of course, watch as it's the bottom. Watch as it dumps out the bottom. I bet you that's what's going to happen here. I bet that is the final straw. Well, actually, it's not, because no matter what, I'm going to use this method to make this steel. Now, already I'm like not automating it very much because, well, because let's face it, I really don't want to spend that much on steel. It's a lot of coal, and it's not good. It's not good to be spending that much coal. I don't think anyone can make a case that it is. Where are my translocators? Don't need you in my hand ever. Why are you there? Okay, let's pinch that off. Pinch off that ugly loaf, as it were. To use a turn of phrase, you know. Oh, this doesn't go there, does it? I should just leave all these chests behind, just to confuse anybody who ever goes digging in here. Like, if this like an archaeologist thing, they're gonna go digging and they're finding all these little plastic bags, and they're gonna say, well, if something's in a plastic bag, they must have wanted it to be saved, and they're gonna reach in, they're gonna find dog poop. That's gonna be great. So how do I unclick this? There we go. And of course, there is no output side. There is only an input for this device. Welp. All right, so I think I got it. It turns out that these things can only be automated by pipes. It's a bug. I have submitted it, so we'll just carry on. And it is impossible to preload this, but it turns out that this charcoal is so much that it'll be a lot of steel. So we should be okay for now. Let's just finish up. I need a little bit of gold conductive pipe, or it's not gold, gold transport pipe. I need another wood transport pipe to get it out of the. Am I out? I may be out. No problem. Easy enough to make. I should have enough glass on hand. And I know I have enough wood on hand. So let's go ahead and... Oh, no. And yes. I had to go and take care of a little thing involving a whole bunch of rifts. These new dimensional doors, man, they're scary. Okay, so let's grab that. And let's toss this in. Got that for now. Don't really need these since they don't work, and don't need that item router at all. Okay, so we have the conductive or the gold pipe, and I just need a redstone engine really quick, which should be really easy. Oh, an engine. Let's see, what do I need? I need a piston. Check. And I think I need 2 wooden gears. Check. Check. Okay. And then that. And finally, I need 2 levers. I think I might, yeah, I have 1 on me. I could use 1 more. I don't know what is going on with the weather, though. That's one thing that is beyond my ken. It's been so stormy on our server lately. It's almost outrageous. Like, it's a joke at this point. Like, oh yeah, is it? You know, they say Forgecraft, it always rains, but they ain't got nothing on for the Resonant Rise testing server. I wonder if maybe someone has some goofy bees. So let's see here. This, I know it feeds in the top. And then what we'd like to do, now lots of people, what they do is they build in, they get an import bus. I'm not sure if you know that you don't need to do that at all. You don't need to do it even a little bit. All right, so we need to pull out, I'll show you what I mean. We need to pull out from here. That is the output side. And then we can just run pipe. And since it won't accept on any of these things, we can actually, I think we could just run it right there. Yep. Yep, pretty sure that that's fair game. Where's my pickaxe? Ah, Thunder, go away. No one likes you, Thunder. Don't be a jerk. And then our other little setup here. Let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out. I can't get out. I'm stuck. Fortunately, I can fly. There we go. Oh my god, that was annoying. I tell you, man, these wires are tough to walk on. Okay, so let's keep this ridiculous farce going. And finally, we need a lever. I'm not sure whether it's not stacking. That's interesting. Lever 1. Nope. I can just place the levers. Okay. Now, if I place an enriched alloy in there, it should come out fine. And if I place a steel dust in here, it should come out pretty fast. And you can see it has this little digital... I think it's a pretty cute texture. And that should be enough. It should come out. Let's just make sure, let's follow it. Zing! There we go. I should probably make some, I think it's sandstone pipes that don't connect with inventories just to clean that up. But anyways, you'll notice that it went into the interface and now it's gone. What does that even mean? Well, friends, what it means is that this interface here, whenever it is an inventory into itself, and you can see that it can be told to export items. So it can actually be told to hold items there. And you can, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with this, and we're going to do one more thing here, which is train the system how to manufacture steel for us. But at any point in time, if you pump items into an ME interface, well, then it also will send it back into your system. So there's no need for additional buses, right? You can just have them. So here we go. Wow, they ended up over there. I'm a little confused. But yeah, if I drop this in here, it'll just go away, and now it's in my system. Now I have more steel. So let's go ahead and grab some enriched alloy. Just need a few of these. I just really one, although it can only make 2. And if we then get some steel, just one of these will do. Now we can walk over to our system and teach it all about the riddle of steel. The riddle of steel is simple. We have taught it how to make this. Let's toss in this. All we have to do is tell it that if you take one of these, you can get one of these from this contraption I have built. One thing I think that's really interesting about applied energistics is that people seem to have a problem doing multi-stage machines with it. They seem to be confused and think that if this block, you know, doesn't do what it, if this block doesn't in one shot do everything you want, then it won't work right. But this ugly little contraption that we just built here actually counts as one machine to applied energistics just as much as anything, right? So let's see what we can do here. Let's be excited. Let's be optimistic. Let's make some steel. I have 4 steel on hand. Let's ask for more. Let's ask for us to make just 1, because I know we have a spare in the system. So we should, currently crafting 1. Let's hop over here. Oh, look, it's already cooking. It's already, huh. Did it get sucked out? We don't want that to happen. Does it? Interesting. Oh, you know why? Because, oh yeah, this is one of the reasons that people don't use the pipes. The pipes do get confused. The pipes can confuse it. You do need to have an iron pipe there to make sure that it doesn't try and eject it. I'll be right back, and we will take care of this problem. So I have a solution. Again, we have to be flexible. We have to use everything that we got. This won't be as compact as I wanted, and it barely uses applied energistics, but it's there. So what I just need to do is grab an item collector really fast. Just one will do. And now I should be able to finish this build. So what I'm exploiting is the fact that these conveyors here are really very nice. And they can... 1, 2, 3. Am I out of conveyors? I'm facing the wrong way too. Oh no. I'm sure I have some more on hand. And if not, I can make some more. But what I'm going to do is, first of all, I don't want a pipe connected to this guy because he'll spit back out. No problem. I have this. I could use an insertion pipe too, but I have exactly the same thing, the insertion semantics I want with that, and I happen to have those on hand. So I just need convey. Yeah, I have a ton of these. Lying around. And I'm sure people notice, Dave, you have a portal gun and you're not using it? Yeah, well, you know, portal guns are boring. Don't let iChun hear me say that. Okay, so that goes in there, and that goes there. And that should allow us to refeed things back into the system. It's hideous, I grant. It's not 100% automated yet because we can't refill this. But, you know, it's there. So let's just test this part of it. Toss the smelter in. It begins to cook. And let's flip this on. The smelter is quite slow on its own, isn't it? So then slowly that comes out, over so slowly, and then gets injected back into the system. Should be gone. Great, great. Now, let's go and actually request another bar of steel and make sure that we have... We'll pull this out. And we will... I don't know why I just did it that way. I'm flustered, okay? So we should now see that this is active. Yes. It'll go through there. Now these redstone engines will throttle up eventually. Okay, and now it goes through the smelting thing. Ever so slowly. And then it gets pulled out there and created. So let's get over here before it makes it. And it should be aware. So I'm not sure if the system's actually timing out or not. Like, I don't know if the job fails. I'm not sure how it feels about that. But I think that if I were to, say, ask for 2 steel bars, I think it would understand that. So now, while that's going on, obviously I'm making more steel. You can see it's bleeping away on those 2 things. Obviously, I would like this system to run faster, and it turns out that I can, with speed upgrades here in the Metallurgic Infuser, actually make that happen, make my dream come true. And let's just go ahead and do that. Let's make some speed upgrades. They're not inexpensive, but they're not expensive. So let's take a look. Speed upgrade. I think this is the one we're looking at. No. I think this is the one. Yeah, that looks suspiciously. So let's make a 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I need to make a little bit more of that, huh? But fortunately, that is super easy, as we've just set up a nice... There we go. And let's just go ahead and make a little bit of this. Wait, we even taught it how to make that, huh? So we just need some enriched. Let's just go ahead and make 10 of this. Comes flying along. All right, so now we have 10 of that. Let's toss it in here just to cook it up real quick. And while that's waiting, we have 3 of these. So it's actually pretty impressive how much faster these machines get with just a few of these. But let's go ahead and just put, first, let's put 1. Nope, let's pull out just 1. And yeah, there you can see speed times 2. It's not actually times 2, it's just how many speed upgrades we got. So now it's going to go 3 times as fast. And I'll show you in just a sec. We can toss one of these in here, and we're just going to go make one more. Because they really are fantastic when you get them set up like that. So let's see, what we need is one of these. I think we have everything we need now. And because of the cost of these, you're really kind of crazy for not using them. But the machines, the mechanism machines, interestingly, are not as efficient as most other machines in the game. And you actually have to upgrade them to make them more efficient. It's kind of interesting balancing. So it's expected. And if I were to break this smelter, it would, of course, immediately break, but it would keep its it would keep its upgrades, which is fantastic, because one of the worst things about the new Greg things is that when you move the machine, it loses the upgrades. It's no fun. So let's go ahead and make some steel, make a riddle about it. Steel, let's just make another 2. Okay, that should begin. As you can see, that goes quite a bit faster. Like, that's just, it's a huge improvement. And the longest part of the system is now going to be the pipes. Similarly with the cooking, it's really fast. So that's exactly what we want. And as soon as these other engines get up to temp, then we will find the whole system. So now we can make speed a little bit faster. And over time, I'll overclock those more. Yeah, it's pretty good setup right now. And now we go through charcoal pretty quick, don't we? We're really going to have to figure out some way to get the charcoal in there. I wonder if a router could get it in there. I could definitely get to Factorization's tech trees right now. Well, let me collect my thoughts for just a sec, folks. All right. We have to stay focused on our bigger goals. One of the bigger goals is that I want to be able to automate the creation of all mechanism machines so that I can quickly produce a factory when I want to. And I'm going to want to soon. And I can do most of it from this crafting table, right? Obviously, we've got a lot of good stuff. And I should probably teach it how to make these speed upgrades and the energy upgrades too. But I'd also like to make it so that I can make the machines faster just by having the steel casings on hand. If you look at the steel casing, it's not a hard recipe. Steel casing. But it's a recipe that needs steel. So obviously we had to have efficient production of steel, and it needs osmium. So I'm going to teach the system how to do that. First, I'm going to need some more blank patterns. Let's just grab, just grab 3 more. Okay. And yeah, so I'm just going to teach this like so, using the awesome feature of NEI add-ons, which is that if I click this, hit shift-click, then ta-da, the system learns. It grows. And now we can actually create osmium casings. While we're at it, we're also going to just grab a little bit of this. There we go, we have these. Should teach it how to make this as well, right? Because this stuff comes up a lot. It'd be useful to have. And yeah, we can definitely set up something to cook that up. So we clear. We need some of the blank stuff, don't we? We have to make one just to have an example. Okay. So if we take one of these and cook it, we produce one of these. If we encode it, so now I can bring that over here to my secret little interface to my powered furnace. And now it knows how to make the enriched iron, or the enriched alloy. Yeah, so now I should be able to just walk up here casually and just be like, yo, computer, give me a steel casing. And I shouldn't have any steel in the system. And if I watch the crafting monitor, it's going to say that it's missing the materials and needs to make steel ingots. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know what? It may have messed up. Yeah. So this is actually a really common problem with these sorts of things. So if we can just, if we could just touch this, looks like we're a little bit lagged. There we go. Okay, so we're obviously going to have to cancel this. What we're missing is it thinks it's supposed to use the wrong type of steel. So I think we can cancel left shift click the item. There we go. All right, so we need to go back in there, grab that pattern, and re-encode it. Let's just grab this. Oh, you tricky, tricky NEI add-ons. I thought you were magic. Oh, yes. I need to clear one, you just shift, right-click, becomes clear. So let's take a look at this one more time. Steel casing. Let's add in this. So what we'd actually like to do is change that to this. Well, not 6, of course. Let's not be crazy. Come on. There. Now we know that we've got it. And let's just grab the osmium that we have in the system just to make sure that those item IDs match up. It's actually pretty rare. Well, I know which one we're getting more of. It's actually really rare for the system to have these in Resonant Rise. This is one of the steel is one of the only cases, although it looks like NEI add-ons could use some work understanding the difference between the steels, or maybe maybe this. All right, now, come on, let's do this. Let's make a steel casing. Let's grab the steel, so there's none in the system, and let's make a steel casing. So the first thing we're doing is making the steel casing. We've made the alloy. I love watching AE work. It really is amazing. Now hopefully this will all happen fast enough. If necessary, I can make more speed. But there is this kind of fundamental limitation to how fast you can go with that wooden pipe there. And as far as I know, there's no way to speed that up. And right now, for some reason, for some buggy reason, there is no other way for us to automate the system. So hopefully soon translocators will work, because then it'll be almost instant. Right, and that would be perfect. And as you can see, we're cooking them up. They're going out. All right, looks like we're doing good. Unfortunately, a very slow process. But, you know, can't be helped. This is so much cheaper. Ta-da! Da-da-da-da! We made a steel casing. Oh my god. Who would have thought that such a simple build would end up being so complicated? I'm going to go report some bugs right now because I'm kind of grumpy about what happened. But this is not a bad, for given what we had to work with, this is not bad, right? I mean, we're using multiple mods, we've come together, we've managed to get AE to understand it. We will have to baby the system's supply of carbon a little bit, but you know, that's to be expected. And hopefully soon it'll be compatible with other more compact systems, because we could get this down to a much smaller size if we could just use translocators or applied energistics to feed the system. As it stands though, it's kind of cute, actually. All right, folks. Well, because of the riddle of steel, we are way past our wrapping up point. So I'm going to call an episode here. If by some crazy reason you liked this episode, leave a like, leave a subscribe. If you hated it, or you know, you should leave a dislike. I mean, that's democracy in action. Although I don't know how you would have made it this far. Leave a comment if there's other things you want me to build. You know what I'm going to be working on next, specifically the substation for mining. As soon as I'm a little bit ready, I will need to remake my Darkcraft armor. But this is pretty much buttoned up, and the only thing I could possibly want to make next is an ore processing facility, but I'm going to do that in different dimensions. So, yeah. And we will just call it an episode there. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next episode. Well, not see you. You get the gist. Okay, folks. It's not quite the end of the episode. It's running a little long, but right after I built the steel machine, I then went and made a bug report like I said I would. And it turns out that the documentation was just offline, and I'm an idiot. Aiden patiently explained to me that what I need is this tool right here, the configurator. So look what I made. Da-da-da-da. Really quickly off camera, I took the monstrosity that we had. It worked, but was a monstrosity, and I turned it into this. So I still have the same ME interface, but it turns out that with this amazing configurator, I can, first, if you right click on a machine, it'll tell you, it says current color dark red, current color purple. If we look at the state, we can notice that these slots have a color. So it turns out that these machines, if we shift right click, we can change the side assignment. How amazing is that? So we can actually arbitrarily configure these machines to best fit our factory without even rotating them. So we can have them face any way we want, but we can also make them automatable any way we want, which is awesome. That's actually better than thermal expansion in terms of configurability. Now, of course, thermal expansion does let you combine output slots, and it does let you, well, it lets you auto eject, which is awesome. But we have translocators, so we made the best of a bad deal. So check, and this is not bad at all, actually. This is pretty dang compact. The only way it could be more compact is if there was item pushing between machine and machine, and then we could get it down to 2 by 2 by 2. But here we are with a 2 by 3 by 2. So just like before, this ME interface has only one place to push, and that is to this machine. So it will push to this machine, and I'll show you the way it works in a sec, but basically it cooks it, sucks it out, puts it over here, and then sucks it out after it's done. And you can see, of course, if I just were to right click or even hover, check this out, with these ones with the model, they don't show a color. These ones actually do. So you can see there's the dark blue side, and of course, there's the dark blue output. And similarly, this is the red side right here. And so that's perfect, right? That's exactly what we want. Now, I was just finishing up because I changed applied energistics, and it was a little bit different. So I had to just go through and do this. We just need to say reject unmapped, yes, output steel to the red. There we go, steel factory fixed. Now the ME interface can never, ever, ever output to the item router. And that's the key here. So now we have a system that will make steel for us automatically. It's compact, it's not slow, it's nice and fast. It's perfect, right? This is exactly what we want. This is almost as good as the very best system. So if I just hop over here, I'm gonna run into the wall, run into everything, and I request some steel, we can run over it and we can see it happening. So I'll just request 1 steel. And while that's crafting, we can catch it right here in the act. So the purple line is the top, which is injecting charcoal. And you can see now that we're smelting the steel dust perfectly. And it'll get sucked out in just a sec. And it's gone. It's not in the item router. It's gone. Not hiding back over here. It's gone. So now we have a very efficient system. And I just want to point out that these item routers from Mindfactory Reloaded are awesome for this sort of work because they can refuse to accept items. And the ME interface understands that, right? So it has no problem being unable to reject. So this reject unmap button is super important for a build like this because the ME interface then can't push out, and that makes it very easy for us to set up builds like this, particularly with translocators, but with any sort of pipe, it would work this way. And with that, I'll end the episode, but I just didn't want to let it go without thanking Aiden for being patient with me and checking out. This is a great steel factory, and we'll use this to make a few more things before we go, but that's for later episodes. Thanks for watching, and sorry to addendum the episode this way. I know it was getting long.